right, ladies and gentlemen, we are once again here for another episode of The Point, Walk to Walk, Hoop Talk. I'm here again with my boys, Ed Davis and Craig Murray. Fellas, what's going on tonight?
What up, fellas?
What's happening? Hey,
glad to be back from vacation.
Oh, I'm glad
that's right.
We're glad to have you, sir. We had to do what we had to do, but it's nice having you in the saddle. Ed, I'm sure Ed's happy to have you be able to offset some of my extreme talking. So
it's all good.
Hey,
it's all good.
But anyway, so the first thing on the board we're going to talk about, and everyone knows it. We're here in Seattle, Craig and I. Ed's in LA, and the big talk in the basketball world is the #1 high school player in the country, Tyran Stokes, has decided to take his talents or bring his talents here to Seattle, and that's Rainier Beach High School. It's exciting. It's great exposure for the kids here, for our state. All good things, but it's not all good, and Craig's going to tell you about that when we come back in just a moment. All right, Mr. Murray, the whole state of Washington's happy. The whole city of Seattle's happy. We've got that kid in tow. Nationally, a lot of hype has been brought our way. You've got J.J. Crawford and Stokes being labeled maybe the most exciting backcourt in the country. A lot of good things, but you're not happy. Tell us about it, Craig. Tell us about your troubles, sir.
Well, I think just seeing how these scenarios play out around the country, it's just another showcase of what I believe from grassroots all the way up to the NBA is the problem with how American basketball is perceived and how it is the focus of what people believe are the best things happening to the game. You know, just listening to people say, this is what high school basketball is about when they've seen Tyran Stokes. And don't get me wrong, I coached against him as an 8th grader. I think he's a great talent. This has nothing to do with the kid who's only been put in this place based on the adults who have put him in this position. Mm-hmm. You know, but when we start talking about our game and what we want it to be continuously as it goes along, it's everything that I think is wrong with what's going on with select basketball to NBA basketball to college basketball. I think where we've jumped into is we don't really care about the game. Not we, but people are not caring about the game and what the game is supposed to be. It's just, how can I help my team be on a pedestal? That's all it is. And like I said, the kid was in he's been in 3 different high schools in 4 years. All right. From what I hear, he got in trouble. That's why he wasn't allowed to be able to continue to play at the school he was at in California. All right. So now, all of a sudden, you bring in the #1 player in the country, and within days, he's already eligible to play. That tells you what the thought process is behind this whole thing. Everybody can say what it is. You can say, "Hey,
it's business.
It's business." Yes. And I just thought the people that I've heard talk about how they're upset about our game and the fundamentals and all this and that. And you watch that right there. I watch them play, and that's a glorified open gym with people acting crazy.
Well, hold on.
People having...
Back up for a second. What are you saying is a glorified open gym?
The way that that is not basketball.
Who
That is
are you?
not. That is
You're
that
saying
is
so? You're saying the Rainier, the product of Rainier Beach basketball at this point, in your opinion, is glorified
it, that
pickup.
that
Currently,
early on. It's glorified pickup, is what it is. All right. It is. You're going to bring the best talented players in to get another championship. That's what it looked like. That's what it looked like. You can say all you want, and it's not just Rainier Beach. Has happened at. It's happened at other places. You know, the transfers that you're bringing in. It's one thing to have transfers based on people being in the community. This is where it's gotten so far away from. It used to be, okay, hey, this kid is going to transfer because I was part of the transfer rule. All right. I was part of going to Ballard High School where they bust us out of the city. So the big thing is okay, let's get the kids back in the community that they come from. That's why my freshman
hmm
year I went to Ballard High School, and after that I had to transfer and go to court to get back to Garfield High School.
Mm.
Now you're bringing guys outside of the
the
state
state.
that
Yeah.
have no affiliation with growing up in the
hmm
state. And so then what are you saying? And it not only has it happened at Rainier Beach, it's happened at Garfield, it's happened at all these other high schools. It's happened all around the country. And that's where the issue is becoming. This ain't about this is not about the helping the student athlete. This isn't
hmm
about that.
Mm.
This
You
is
think it's
not what
become
this is
strictly
about.
business, Craig?
It's
Strictly
strictly
business?
it's
Well,
well, how do you
Yeah.
bring the number one kid in the country to
Yeah.
Rainier Beach High
Yeah.
School
well,
uh 2 weeks before the season starts?
That's true. Yeah.
well, I can tell you
Yeah.
this. I've always I've always respected coaches that were into player development as opposed to player replacement. Uh,
hmm
player replacement is easy to do. I mean, it's not necessarily easy to do because it takes a certain type of personality to attract other personalities. So that's a skill to be able to do that. But it's just shouldn't be. What you're saying is that should not be a function of high school.
Not at all. That's I mean this is the thing. And don't get me wrong. I know the coaches at Rainier Beach to a certain extent, and I respect them to
Yeah, I
death.
mean,
Ain't that
That
Jamal? Ain't it Jamal Crawford?
Jamal's on the staff, and Mike is considered by many as Washington's GOAT. I mean, based on his accolades and achievements, I'm sure
right.
many would consider him Washington's finest. I mean, I would vote
But
Phil Lumpkin, but there's a lot of
right.
people that would say that Mike Mathey is the best coach in the history of Washington.
What was that
Right,
last
right.
name? Mike what?
Mike Mathey.
Mike Bethan. But
Buffet.
but but this is
He's the Rainier
this
Beach
is
coach.
this is where it's gotten so ridiculous. It's gotten so ridiculous that this is what we're saying high school basketball is. Okay, you're going to build a transferable team and say that, hey, we're the best team in the state of Washington. Come on. What are we
That's funny you
talking
say it,
about here?
Craig. It's funny. It's funny from the position I'm in. When they said he was going to Rainier Beach, I looked at it like, okay, well, that's the sign of times. That's what they're doing these days. I didn't think about it, but knowing what you went through with your son, I can see how personal it can be.
Yeah.
And when you put it the way you put it, I understand exactly where you're coming from. It ain't cool, it ain't fair, but we've gotten so used to it that we don't even think about it anymore, to be honest.
We're
We
not.
don't.
Yeah. And this is a deal. I still look at it from a person of wanting this, like to be in the environment of basketball at the level that I've been in it, and to see how this has taken this turn, because you're starting to hear all the college coaches even talking about all this, like
hmm
Calipari talking about a 27-year-old kid or 27-year-old guy playing that they played against, and he using his NIL money to pay for child support. You know what I'm saying? So it's gotten so far out of whack that
Yeah.
where is this at? And this is what people really don't get. This is what people really don't get that are on the mainstream of this right here. They don't even care anymore about the game. They don't care about the game. It's about what kind of gratification from the money part of it can I get? Because if we really
Business.
were about the game, we would be back to the grassroots of the game, and we would be developing our players so that we are no longer considered. Now we're at the point where the last 3 years, the MVP of the NBA has been from a foreign country, and it's going to be another. It's going to be the fourth year in a row because it's either going to be Luca, it's either going to be Jokic,
Mm-hmm.
Antetokounmpo,
Or
or
SGA.
Shea Alexander.
Well,
And what people aren't really understanding, the more we keep approaching the game the way we do, and I'm saying because a lot of it comes back to the kids that are coming up through this system from the city. That's really where it's coming from. Where do they stand now as we continue to grow the
it,
game?
it should
Are
be
we
in the
growing
best.
the game?
It's. I mean, to your point, it should be in the best. In my opinion, it should come down to what's in the best interest of the kid and the
The
overall
game.
the game moving forward.
Yes.
Yes.
So you've got
Yeah, like you said, the development, how it's
Mhm.
being developed. You know what I'm saying?
But we've
It seems
we've
like
lost
what it
that.
seems like. It seems like
It's,
we're gonna end up being reactive and waiting until 28. If it doesn't go well, then we'll start looking into making some changes in how we're developing these young men that's coming up.
and
It's
then it's going to take that much. It's going to now
absolutely yes.
we'll be way behind the curve. And
Yes.
it's not like it was years ago when we're like we're not going to send our college kids to play against the world. We're going to send the NBA. Who you
Mhm.
going to go get in the NBA to play against it now?
Yeah. Well,
Well,
let's go back to the high school
Yes.
Rainier Beach real
Yes.
quickly. And the thing I wanted to say about that is that uh, and I know it's particularly sensitive in your circumstance because you just went through that process with your son, and
mhm.
it went a certain way, and you felt like you know um, you were coming from a good place. You know, you're from here.
Right.
You weren't trying to be exploitative. You were just looking for a a
Yeah.
a workable situation for your son, and to see how the ease at which they were able to import someone else, like you said, that doesn't really have any history here. That's tough to watch.
Mhm.
On the other hand, like I was saying, I mean, what a benefit for for that team and that organization, given that now you've got the national eyes not only on Stokes, but not only on Crawford, but on other kids in that program and other kids throughout our league. And I think that one of the things that I think is a benefit is that Washington is considered one of the top basketball places in the world, and this will just shine more light on what Washington actually has here, because it's more than just importing a kid from someplace else. Washington and Seattle in particular has always had high level players that can contribute to any program in the country, whether it's Division 1 or moving on to the next level. So, in one respect, I think it's kind of we're in that place where things haven't been regulated to the degree that we'd like to see them. Um, but there is some good in having that kid here, because, like I said,
Well,
it really brings.
Jordan, it's good for Rainier Beach. It's good for the Rainier Beach program
Yeah,
and even Seattle. But
yes,
it's not good for basketball as a whole, not high school basketball. It
Yeah.
just don't look good if a kid, like you said, has been kicked out of a number of schools, but he's been accepted because not because he deserves, but more because of his talent. You see what I'm saying? And
And
somebody in the WIA, whatever, I'm not sure if that was the right terminology, but
that's
whoever's
correct.
in that league, they've had to make they're making decisions on individual kids. They make a decision on this number one player. He said he got accepted within 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, within 2 weeks,
It's not it's not
it was
cool. It's not
eligible.
fair. It's not
And it
fair.
wasn't.
And I'm sure
It, it,
I'm sure
How is
I'm
his
sure some of those
situation?
coaches. I'm sure Jamal Crawford has a relationship, and like you said, the coach has a relationship with some people. That might be the reason that he did get accepted
How
to
was he
Rainier
able?
Beach.
Well, explain if you can, Craig. I don't really have the information.
here,
Explain
here's
how
here's
he
what
was.
happened is
How was
there,
he deemed eligible?
what probably happened with them is they went to their district in the Metro League, and the Metro League inherently they don't have the same stipulations as other districts do. So really what happened is they probably have different ways that they value a transfer, and some places are stricter than others. So then
Mm-hmm.
they didn't have to go anywhere past their district in order to get him eligible. All that being said, a lot of this comes on the heels of all the stuff that's went on at Garfield, all the stuff that's went on at Roosevelt, even stuff that has went on at Rainier Beach. So that's where, you know, now do they make that decision that way? But they're trying to shut it down at the top. That's why Brandon Roy and Eric Smiley, whatever happened there, I don't know the ins and outs of that situation, but they not only removed Eric Smiley and Brandon Roy, they removed the athletic director and the principal. Same thing they did at Roosevelt with the 19 transfers that came in at one time,
Whoa,
and
whoa.
and they had to get rid of. They got rid of the football coach there. Used to play for the Seahawks, and the athletic director there. I'm pretty sure that that's all part of that whole situation there. And
Are you
so then,
are you serious about 19 kids coming in?
yeah, you had 19. They
That's
had
football.
they had football.
Wow,
19 transfers came in
wow,
at once. So this is what I'm
wow.
saying.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. This isn't this isn't it's gotten out of control. It's gotten so
Mm-hmm.
far out of control that it's now, and this is the deal. I don't know for sure, but people are bringing people in, and then as soon as the season's over, those kids are gone out of there, and you don't see them at the
Of
school
course,
anymore. So what are
of
we talking
course.
about here? What are we talking? And that's the same thing at Rainier Beach. Don't man. And then this is the other thing. I've watched two of their games with him being in there, and the type of the just it just the game. Everybody looks at the talent. I'm looking at what are you teaching these kids? What are you teaching these
Mm-hmm.
kids about? Is this supposed to be your approach in life? Is this supposed to be your approach to the game? I mean, what? Some of the stuff that goes on out there is just ridiculous, and you got people running around acting a fool in the stands, and like they're pumping it up, like. And I go, this is where we've gotten with basketball at the high school level. This is what it is. To me, it's a
Mm.
clown show. It's what it
Let me
is.
ask you this:
And don't get
did
me wrong.
anybody in the league protest him being transferred? Anybody, any Rainier Beach League
Oh,
protested?
I don't know if they did or if they didn't.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
pretty sure that yeah, I'm
Yeah,
you got all the stuff going on. All of the stuff going on.
yeah, yeah,
You got in in one arena, you got you got the guys at Garfield got fired. In another arena, you got people bringing in a guy from another state, the number one player in the country, and he's eligible
yeah.
to play in 3 weeks.
Mm,
I mean, what are we doing
wow.
here? What is this about?
Yeah.
I mean, what are we telling the kids? What are we telling the kids about how you should approach life? What are you really saying? You know?
Look
I mean,
suspect.
I
Look a little
and don't get me
suspect.
wrong. I don't look here. I'm not raining on Stokes. You know what? He's a great talent. You know where he's at right now in high school basketball. He's a great talent. I'm not that it's not because he's only doing it because he's been afforded the opportunity for people who are around him or with him or whoever brought him in for it to be okay. So
No,
and it's not just him. It's not just him. That's it's not just him. You know, I mean, you could probably look up and down all the rosters in the league, and you can go, well, where'd this kid come from? He's nowhere. He didn't grow up in this area here. Where'd he come from?
mm-hmm.
Where's he from? You know. So it's disturbing to see on a point of it's disturbing to see because there's just no I don't know what I want to say. There's no moral clause to what's going on.
Oh, the
There's no
accountability is
moral
out the
clause.
window. The accountability is gone.
It's
Huh?
out the window.
Of course.
It's out the window. And people are sitting back and thinking this is the best thing. You know, I heard one of my guys talk, "Oh, this is great. This is what for real. That's how you deem this.
It's a
That's
show.
how you deem it." But your coaches at the college level are starting to your good coaches are starting to get tired of all of the song and dance and circuses that are going on. So who knows where it's going to end up? I guess my thing would be
Mm-hmm.
who is the one who are the people that are willing to step in and do this the right way, or have the dominoes fell so far that you can't pick them back up?
I'm Troy Miles, and I am here to tell you about the virtual game of basketball. Yes, the math, physics, and fundamentals, forward by Rainier Wilkins. If you haven't read this book, it's time to cop a copy. Time to cop a copy. Indeedy. Anyway, if you love basketball, you will love the virtual game of basketball. Really, it's the martial arts of basketball, all wrapped up into a nice little, easy to digest book. You'll love it. Trust me on that. Let's talk about the top rookies in the country, and more specifically, let's talk about the rookie of the week. And for me, that's the dancing bear, Nikola Jokic, Derek Queen.
Young fella.
Hey,
The
we
young
talked
fella,
about.
did he put on a show the other night?
Well, you know what? We've been talking about the top rookie since the beginning of the season, and he's been on our rookie watch list the entire time. You know, the more we talk about being on point, the more on point we seem to be. We're batting a pretty high percentage in terms of our evaluations, gentlemen. The big dancing bear put on a performance that hasn't been duplicated since the
Dancing bear.
1973. Oh yeah, the 73-74 season. I actually had a player in high school that I called the dancing bear, and he didn't like it. I said, "Son, do you realize how much of a compliment that is? I'm complimenting that you're able to, that your footwork, despite your size and your appearance, your footwork is par excellence, as is Derek Queen's." And we made mention of that. We've been talking about that for a while. So a 30-point triple double is not surprising to me, because I felt like Fears and Queen have always been two of the best rookies, and Fears was a little bit ahead of Queen, but I made note a couple weeks ago that Queen was coming, and here he is, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
They're saying now. Look, Kendrick Perkins said that they need to move on from Zion, so they open the door for Derek Queen and Fears. Let them do their thing. They say move on from Zion. I told you, I thought they was going to do that anyway.
Well, I think that there's a few teams in the league that have decisions to make. Craig's gonna like this, but there's a few teams that have players that some GMs consider to be negative impact or have negative trade value, and Zion makes that list. Ja Morant makes that list, and your boy Melo makes that list. It's not that they're not quality players. It's just that they have stark limitations that seem to be getting more glaring as time moves forward. And when you look at a situation like Zion, I look at him and think that, man, he's very explosive, and I I don't deny that he's a all all-star caliber guy, but when I look at his skill set relative to someone or comparatively to Luke, I know Luke is the MVP candidate, but Denny Aja, all the skilled European players. When I'm looking at these players, including guys like Anthony Edwards, but when I look at the top skilled people in the league, of those three, I'd only include Melo. When I look at John Morant, I look at the super freak athlete. Yeah, he's talented. Yeah, but he's missing things in my opinion. When I look at Zion, yeah,
Hmm.
he's a supreme athlete. Yeah, he's talented. But in terms of total package, to talk about tooled players, I don't see it.
It's hard to see it. He don't stay on the floor. He's hurt.
Even
There's no way
listen,
he's going to have any leverage. There's no leverage as far as trading him. And he has what they were saying, 3 years at 125 still on the books. So it's gonna. I don't know. I want to see what GM's gonna make the decision to go ahead and take him in. Is he
well,
gonna? He's
Yeah,
not gonna be
that's a
healthy. He's like AD.
what's his okay? Given let's just hypothetically say that you're gonna have him for a whole year and he's gonna be healthy. What do you see in terms of his package? What can you count on in terms of okay, we've got Zion. How are we going to implement him or build around him? What do you guys see? What am I missing?
I think you got to put him
oof.
somewhere where he's like a second or third option. He can't be the number one option. You put him somewhere he's second or third option, and like I said, preferably with some vets. If you can get somewhere with some vets around, and I don't know, it
He's a
doesn't matter.
vet.
He made so much money. He's made so much money now that it probably don't even matter anymore.
Well,
So
well,
it's
he's
the
a vet
game is different,
himself.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I, the one thing he has done, he's kept himself in basketball shape for the way that he torques his
yeah.
body. The problem is it's not sustainable. It's just not the way he plays is not sustainable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and now you're on that part of what is he, 26,
Yeah, he's a
26
Yeah,
years
quasi
be
old?
around
veteran.
there.
Like I was
Yeah,
telling Ed, he's like a
yeah,
Yeah.
quasi veteran. He should be a veteran, but
yeah,
is he really? And
Yeah,
and
but
to
he
your
hasn't he
point,
hasn't
Chris,
played
yeah.
enough.
but you said that he's in the has he's maintained a certain physicality. My contention is that he needs to lose 25, 30 more pounds, in my opinion,
Yeah.
even though he's
That'll help.
trimmed down more than yeah, he's trimmed down more than he's been in the past. I mean, look at Luka, for example. I mean, Luka's been deadly, but look at Slim Luka. Look at the difference in his
Yeah.
ability to
Y-
to
Yeah.
play you know, um, a
The,
lot less
the,
in the cumbersome way, I mean,
yeah.
the things he's been able to do, weight look, I just think the Zion, I
Luca's
just
game.
don't see what it is.
Luca's game is it's more of a skilled basketball game.
Absolutely. Yes.
Zion's is
Yes.
based on playing above the rim.
Yeah.
That's where got him his fame and
I
fortune, was
agree.
playing above the rim with the physicality. And not saying that Derrick Rose was the Derrick Rose had more game, but his
Mm-hmm.
explosiveness is the same type of explosiveness that we look at when we see Zion. And we've known with him being the precursor that that's not you. It's not sustainable to play with that type
No.
of. And then so you go, yeah,
It's too much torque. What you're
it's
saying,
too
what
much,
I'm
way too
hearing you
much.
say, all the
Yes,
players that play with torque like that end up hurting
yeah,
themselves.
Injury
right,
prone.
right.
Yes.
Well, you think about you're doing night in and night out. You're throwing your body around like that night against the best
Exploding every
athletes
night.
in the
Yeah.
world every night.
That's
That your
right.
body just can't handle that. It just can't handle. And the problem with him is this right here. What kind of game do you have if you have to play below the rim? That's where the question becomes, because then you can't find out how he can fit in anywhere else, because what made you a superstar isn't what's going to keep you at a high level of play for another team. That's not what it's going to be. The only
Well,
reason you are who you are right now is because your physicality makes you a freak of nature out there.
Mm-hmm.
well, and the game is
Athleticism. You're right.
the game is transitioning away from Duhal. We've talked about that.
Yes,
The
yes,
game is changing, and so when I
Mm-hmm.
look at Zion, when I look at John Morant, and I will say that even with Lamelo, you know, the game is moving in a different direction, and you're not going to be able to find yourself ahead of the curve unless you're bringing superior processing and superior technique to the table. Gone, it's
Mm-hmm.
get the game has moved away from you're supremely athletic. You know, another player that reminds me of that, and if he hears me, he'll be mad at me. But I look at Jaren Jackson that way. I look at to me, I call them quasi stars. Yeah, they got game, but it's so intertwined with their physicality that uh, it's just not sustainable. Because I really believe, and we see it played out in so many scenarios. Supreme technique transcends supreme physicality in basketball.
right.
So,
Well,
you know,
yeah,
the
and when, yeah, yeah. When you talk about, to me, when we talk about ball, the difference between them and ball is this right here. Is it's all between here for ball. That's where it isn't the skill, it
Yes.
isn't the talent, it isn't that right there. It I think he has played so much the way he plays that he's not capable of changing that mindset. And in a night in, night out environment, bringing to the table what you
Mm-hmm.
need to bring to the table, be a leader, do all those things that they want him to do. I think he's had his time to show if he's going to change any of that. And you guys can say, yeah, he needs vets around him.
Let,
I get that. But
well,
also
let me ask you.
somewhere
Let me
along the
ask you this,
line,
Craig.
yeah,
Let me ask you this,
he-
Craig. Let me ask you
yeah.
this. What do you think? Would you think he'd be a better fit if he went to like a Denver? Just think about Denver's personnel. He's there with Jokic and those guys. You think he would change a little bit? Get a little more like
Ma-
focus on running the
yeah,
offense, playing the game the way it's supposed to be. I'm just saying.
no, no. You know why I
You don't
don't?
think so?
Because
You think he'll
it's
be wild?
no,
You think he'll be
it
wild and
isn't.
free?
That's what he's grown up being. That's what he's grown up being. And the thing is this right here is, if he came in, the only thing that might change him, if he came in and he has to play behind a Jamal Murray and them to
no.
find
He
out.
Nah,
he's
that ain't
he's
gonna
not a
happen. That's not gonna
he's
happen.
not a he's not a secondary talent. Here's what I think. I
No,
think
no,
he's a little
no.
he's a little immature. He's been in a situation where he has been put into a leadership quote leadership role, even though he's not a leader yet. At a certain
Wasn't ready.
point,
Exactly. I totally agree.
yeah,
I totally agree.
yeah, he has wealth. He has all the things that he dreamed of when he was younger, all the things that his dad has set in place for them and put into motion. But the one thing that I think is going to kick in for him, hopefully, is that he's going to wake up and be like, you know what? I want to win. And so I think that him going to a different environment that's a little more stable, where he doesn't
I
have the
think
type
so
of
too. I believe so.
leverage and power, because I really think that kid is supremely talented. I think he's and this is I use the term loosely, but I think he's a little bit spoiled. And I think that, you know, just like a couple weeks ago when Charles sat him doing crunch time, that's probably the first time that's ever happened to him in his life. And so
Hmm.
he's I think he just I think he needs some type of change that's gonna snap him into a different type of thinking. I think he's gonna be forced to either grow up overnight
Hmm.
or see his station in the league uh, suffer tremendously. That's what I believe.
I think
I'm with Craig. I'm with both of you. Go ahead, Craig.
yeah. I think, yeah, he's talent, but there's also talent in the mind too. Talent that's just as much talent as physical talent and skill talent is being able to mentally understand in the mind who you are, what position you are, what is the next level for you to be as successful. But to me, I think he probably already believes he's been as successful as he needs to be. I think he believes
Nah,
that
I
the way he
I don't
does,
agree. I don't
I
agree
think
with
the
that.
way he believes, by the way he plays, I think that's how he believes that he needs to play in order to be successful. The things that he has to better to become who you guys wanted or who you guys believe he should be. I would love to see him do it because I'd love to come back and be like, man, you guys were right, man. That he needed that right there to get to where he is. I don't see that. And the other thing becomes, okay, so Charlotte is the perfect place for him to have done what he wanted to. Where are you going to put him in a place that he is going to show you that with that type of group? You're talking about the next. There's only.
I,
I mean, you look at the teams that are there. Who do you put him with? Who do you put him with?
like I said,
Well,
I think
I
it's
think
very important who you put him with because if you put him with the wrong organization and the wrong players, you're not going to get that mental switch. And I believe that he's talented enough and he's cagey enough that if he gets in a position like a Denver or whatever else, I think you will see a switch, and it may come later on down in his career. I think all the
well,
guys we were talking about, the John Morants, the Zions, I think their careers they're going to find success later on down the road. For some reason, I believe that. I truly do.
you're,
You
you're,
know,
you're probably right.
This
I tell you,
uh,
I wish the best for LaMelo. I actually think, to be honest, I think he's in the up and coming situation in Charlotte itself. They got three
mm,
terrific rookies with James, Kalkbrenner, Canepo, obviously.
yeah.
They've got a quality backup in Colin Sexton. They've got Miles Bridges. I think they just need to maybe add some cagey veterans to that mix. I think he still has an opportunity there, and I still think he has an opportunity in the league. We don't, unfortunately, have an opportunity to go further with this. We are at the very end, fellas. Once again, as always, we are truly thankful for those who took the time to join us today. As always, it's just three guys having a conversation with old school views and new school news. That's what we do, and we're happy to, like I said, spend this time with you. If this is your first time watching us, please like, please subscribe. We're here every Thursday, 4 o'clock, and we're hoping that you got, as always, that you found value in our words, and we're just very thankful, and we're going to see you the next time. What you guys got to say about it?
See you Thursday.
it was great. It was great to be back. Yeah, look forward to seeing
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys on Thursday.
That's right.
Yep, that's it. All right, gentlemen.
Yeah,
Later.
That was
yeah.